Okay, let's get more on this story now from Ahmed Kaballo, who's the CEO and founder of African Stream, a Pan-African digital media organisation. He's also a journalist. Welcome. We've spoken about this previously, Ahmed, about medical aid and food aid. Now, in theory, having a week-long ceasefire sounds fantastic, an opportunity for lots of aid to get through, but there's been lots of reports suggesting that actually it won't get through, that it hasn't got through in the past because both of the warring sides are either seizing it or destroying it to stop it going into other hands. How much help will this ceasefire provide in terms of aid?
It's a very good question. And first and foremost, the NGOs providing the aid need to believe in the ceasefire. And with reports of both sides already violating the ceasefire, there's understanding of why trust is low in regards to both factions. Now, Doctors Without Borders, MSF, currently have their biggest office in Khartoum occupied by the Rapid Support Forces. Other NGOs have reported that the Rapid Support Forces have looted their offices. The aid can't really go through while there's still risk of attack. Now, although it's relatively calmer in Khartoum than it's been for the previous 5 weeks, there's still, as you mentioned in your report, gunfire being heard on Tuesday. Reports of fighter jets flying over Khartoum, and in El Obeid in North Kordofan, there's been an outright confrontation between the Rapid Support Forces and the army. Allegedly, the Rapid Support Forces tried to attack the army barracks, and the army responded with heavy artillery. So these are not the environment that's conducive for aid organizations to deliver aid. And as you said, there needs to be some sort of trust. There needs to be some sort of calm for the aid organizations to do their job. Now, Anthony Blinken, the US Secretary of State, has warned both sides that there will be some sort of sanctions. But from what I'm hearing, the monitoring group that is monitoring these violations is doing so remotely. So if the monitoring group can't verify whether they're on the ground, monitoring whether the ceasefire has been respected, how are they expecting aid agencies to do their job themselves?
On paper, it sounds good, doesn't it? A week-long ceasefire. The picture you've painted there doesn't sound quite so attractive. You throw in other reports, accusations of people's homes being looted, sexual assault, abductions, a lot of people not working, haven't got money to buy food, which often isn't there. A lot of people will flee. Where do they go to? Is there safe haven for them in neighbouring countries?
Well, yeah, there's many problems with that. So 60 to 90,000 people have apparently fled to Chad. Chad is already the home of 200,000 Sudanese refugees. Plus, there is some tribal affiliations between some of the Chad rebels and the Rapid Support Forces. So Chad itself doesn't want the conflict to spill over and turn into a regional conflict. So, and these countries that surrounding Sudan are struggling themselves. Ethiopia, many people have gone into Ethiopia. Ethiopia, as you know, is just coming out of a long war in the Tigray region of that country. Eritrea is another destination for Sudanese refugees. They have their own problems. So if the neighboring countries are expected to take these Sudanese refugees, they really do need more support from the international community. I think the United States has pledged 250 million in aid to these neighboring countries. But with 25 million people in need of aid, that money needs to be a lot more, and it needs to be coming from many more directions than just the United States, because these are developing countries in the midst of their own crisis. Their infrastructure can't cope with the amount of refugees that are expected to flood if the fighting doesn't stop, and if a ceasefire and lasting peace doesn't last.
Appreciate your time and your analysis. Ahmed Kaballo is my guest, journalist and CEO, founder of the African Stream media organisation.